Well, hey, friends. So today I'm going to chat with y'all about email marketing. It's actually one of the things that I get asked about pretty darn frequently because I've dropped little hints and little tidbits here and there about how I have an email open rate consistently of 50 to 60%, even during launches. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for y'all opening and reading my emails. But truth be told, there's a lot of strategy, a lot of thought, and honestly, a lot of prayer behind it. So, here today, I'm going to walk you through 4 tips to write better emails and increase your open rate. Because the fact of the matter is, if people are not opening your emails, then they are not purchasing because of your emails. So, let's get down to business and really work on your email strategy so that you can put those leads to work, right? All right, we're going to jump right on in. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees. Until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. So if you're new around here and you haven't heard me chat about email marketing and email content before, it's kind of funny. It's kind of ironic that I would talk to you about emails, honestly, because I really hate reading emails. Like, you know, those memes where it's like, there are 2 kinds of people in this world, the inbox 0 and then the inbox 800,000. In my personal email inbox, like I am 100% the person with 500,000 unread emails, like all the time. And God bless my husband, his inbox is at inbox 0 all the time. Like he reads the things, trashes the things, unsubscribes from the things, responds to the things like instantly. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. But I really, for so many things and so many reasons, I hate emails. Like utterly loathe emails. And so it's kind of funny that I would be talking about emails because I'm not like, ooh, yeah, I get to check my email. But the fact of the matter is, because I think part of why I have done so well with email marketing is because I hate emails. I am super intentional about my strategy with emails because I don't just want to be more noise in people's inboxes because that drives me nuts personally, right? So what I've done is I realized very early on in business that I did not want to build my whole business on social media and just rely entirely on social media as a way to get a hold of my people. I knew that I needed a great email strategy, and I knew that I needed an email list, right? And then that ultimately evolved into, I know I need a really great email strategy. So what I have done is I've created a really simple but very effective email marketing strategy. And I'm just going to walk you through 4 tips for you to take what I've learned and apply it to your business and your email marketing. All right. So question number 1, tip number 1 to write better emails and increase your open rate. And please know, I say this with all of the love in the world. Okay. But the number 1 question I want to ask you is, would you read your emails? I'm going to pause and let that sit for just a second. Would you read the emails that you are sending out to your list? Would you be happy that you read that email? Would you be mad that you read that email? Would you wish that you had never heard from that person in your email inbox? Would you read your emails? And that to me is the number one question to ask, because I don't want to be wasting people's time, because I don't want my time to be wasted, right? Now, just because you're sending an email to somebody does not mean that you need to solve all of their problems in that one email. But it does need to be at least genuinely helpful or entertaining, okay? Entertainment is valuable as well. So don't feel like just because you're telling a ridiculous story that your email isn't helpful, right? It can be entertaining and still be beneficial to the person reading it. But you need to ask yourself before you send out a piece of content via email or social media or whatever, really, but specifically for emails, would you read your email? Would you sit down and read the content that you've written? Okay. And then my number 2 tip here, and I get asked a lot about this. My number 2 tip is to story bank. I get asked frequently, Faith, how do you come up with so many stories? Why do you always have so many random things? Where do you get all these content ideas? And the truth is, because I have told stories in my content for so long, and I'm just naturally a storyteller, it's not super hard for me to come up with stories. But I know that that's not the case for everyone. And I didn't start out just popping off stories left and right easily. I had to kind of start creating a story bank. Now, whether you do this within your master content list or a sub list within your master content list of just stories and ideas for stories, great. But you have to start somewhere. If you're someone that struggles to come up with stories or remember stories, then sit down and talk with your parents or your siblings or your oldest, dearest friend and ask them some of the things that maybe they remember that you did, whether they were embarrassing or not, and whether you choose to share those embarrassing stories or not, that's up to you. I generally choose to share embarrassing stories because I just don't care. But you do need a story bank, and you do need stories, and you need the ability to really connect with people. And your email list is a great place to do this, because these people have already connected with you and your business. They're not strangers. They're not somebody that's just completely cold. They're somebody that has given you their email list in exchange for something, whatever your lead magnet is. So it's okay to start to personalize things a little bit by telling stories. However, tip number 3, you have to connect a lesson. Whether that lesson is something super simple or super deep, you have to connect a lesson. Because yes, stories are awesome, but we need to learn from those stories, right? I can tell the most embarrassing thing about myself, but if there's no connection, then it's not going to have the intended effect as far as being helpful, genuinely helpful to my audience. So as you look back through those story banks, think about some lessons that you learned or lessons you wish you would have learned and apply them. And so, honest to goodness, you could jot down a story idea the time one of my stories that I've told on myself in my emails is the time that I fell out of my chair and knocked over the whole desk in my speech and debate class in college in front of the boy that I had a crush on at the time. It was great. But there was a lesson connected to that. And so if I was doing this exercise for myself, I would write down just a one sentence, that story, and then a lesson that I could connect there. I don't even have to write the email right now, but when I have that story bank and I have that idea, then when it's time to sit down and create content, all I have to do is pull up that story bank with the lesson attached, and bada bing, bada boom, I've got some really great content. And tip number 4 for you here is, please, for the love of all things, don't take longer than you need to take. I've heard lots of people ask, oh, how long should my emails be? How long should this be? How long should this be? And as long as it needs to be. The answer is as long as it needs to be. Now, yes, I am totally a fan of building a good story or introducing and then getting to the meat and then a conclusion. But you can't take 5 years to tell the people what you need to tell them. Y'all get to the rat killing, please. Don't take 5,000 words to say something that could be said in 500 words. Like, just don't do it, because you're wasting people's time, and then they're going to unsubscribe because ain't nobody got time to read your babbling. God bless you. And truly, everything that you create should have a thesis statement. If you fell asleep during this part of high school English class, or maybe your teacher didn't teach you this, a thesis statement is simply tell the people what you're going to tell them in a 1-sentence summary. You don't even have to put your thesis statement in the piece of content, but you need to know what that thesis statement is. You need to know what you're going to be telling the people, okay? If you have not grabbed my freebie, 10 tips to improve your content, grab that now. I talk a little bit more in depth about a thesis statement and telling the people what you're going to tell them, and just how to create better content overall. I talk about that in there. But if your emails don't have a thesis statement, if you don't have a dang point to what you're telling people, then you're wasting their time, and they're not going to keep opening your emails. Now, does that mean that you're forever doomed if you have failed to put a thesis statement in your, into your planning of your email content? No, you're not forever doomed. But moving forward, I want you to know what is the point of this piece of content for every piece of content that you create, including your emails. All right. So there we have it for y'all. 4 tips to write better emails and increase your open rate. Now, does this mean that if you apply these 4 tips, your open rate is automatically going to jump up to 50 or 60%? No, it doesn't. It depends on the industry. It depends on your brand. It depends vastly on where you're starting in your email marketing game, as far as, have you just been sending people things like, here's a new podcast, listen, goodbye? Or have you been genuinely cultivating that relationship with your email pals, as I call my email pals, my email subscribers? So just know where you're starting. Take a look at your metrics before you implement these tips. And then take a look at your metrics, 3 to 6 months after implementing these tips. And I bet you, if you combine these with great subject lines, you're going to see an increased open rate. So there you have it. Hope y'all have a great, great, great Thanksgiving. And we will chat with y'all next week. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.